was able to bury a brilliant shot.
There's a chance for Satchel. A bit loose from Adelaide at the back, and Paige Satchel was quick to nip in.
Really quality tackle there as well from Dylan Holmes, able to go to ground but just collect all ball there and clear that one out.
It's quite an opening to this match in the first 10 minutes. Neither goalkeeper troubled as yet. Here with the throw. Wasn't a great season for Canberra United last year. They conceded 29 goals. That was the most in the tournament. 2 more than Newcastle Jets. And then he managed 13 goals in 12 games last season, with only the Perth and the Jets managing less. So work to be done at both ends of the park for Vicky Linton. And that's unlike Canberra United, Grace, isn't it? They've always been known as a free-scoring footballing side. Yeah,
that's right, and I'm sure Vicky and the coaching staff and the squad this year will be looking to improve on last season's record.
There's a Rojas looking to get away from Lauren Keir. Great skill from the Chilean. Chance for Adelaide United here. Rojas still going. Might fall for Wirtz. Ball reloaded into the air, and it's easy for Sally James in the end. Some good pace from Cote, taking on Lauren Keir.
Nice clean hands as well there from Sally James, and that's good to build into her confidence as a W League debut. Really important for goalkeepers just to get touches on the ball, whether it's with your feet, with your hands. Just really builds into their mentality as a player.
Yeah, we've seen her play a lot locally in the Premier League with Canberra United Academy and Belconnen United. Webber doing the defensive duties again. Finds Isabel Hodgson. Runners ahead of her. One of them is Chelsea Dulbert. Nash, the other youngster, the 16-year-olds. Big day for her as well. Webber taking on Nash for pace. And good skill from Webber as well into the penalty area, and that's a nice challenge from the young central defender.
Good bit of work there by Mallory Webber, but well recovered by Jess Nash. She's such a young player who plays with a level of experience well above her years. I think she's 16 years old and captained the junior Matildas, and to get her W League debut today and to step up against an international player like Mallory Webber, she's really showing her skill.
Emily Condon with the first set piece. It goes short to Rojas. Change of angle for Condon to load this into the danger zone. It's a good one towards the far post. Fletcher with a header clear. The drive came in, but was blocked, and Canberra survive. Interesting change of angle on the corner. Good to see Sian Fryer McLaren back in goal as well, Grace, after having a spell out.
Yeah, it is good to see her back in the W League, and sort of seeing where her level's up to, if she's fresh, if she's sharp. I haven't seen much of her in the last couple of years, so really interested to see how she commands her back line there. I'd forgotten how tall she was.
Holmes lifts it forward in the direction of Rojas. Flannery with a header. Picked up in midfields by Campagnoli. He's lifted it forward. Should be easy this for Sally James. Canberra United's home records over the years has been very, very good, but last year they lost 4 of 6 matches, which again was very much unlike them. But it's hard to take last year into consideration with the Canberra United side. I think we were talking off air. It's probably only about 3 or 4 players that had left from the squad from last year. It's a whole new ball game.
Yeah, it is, and of those players, it's really good to have that continuity in a side like we do have with Adelaide United here tonight, but bringing in that experience around those players. So as I mentioned, Kendall Fletcher, Michelle Heyman, and even bringing Grace Maher and Nikki Flannery back into the green, and how fantastic it is to see them back for Canberra United.
Webber been heavily involved in the early stages. Hodgson. Holmes. Picked up by Hughes. That's a nice bit of covering from Chelsea Dorber. Australian under-17 international. 2 goals in the W League for Dorber as well. Holmes clear. Hughes wins the header. And plenty of time for Nash. Coming up to quarter of an hour in, what's your thoughts on the tactical shape so far?
Well, I was just about to mention, interesting to see Kendall Fletcher there in the back line.
We'll come back to that in just a second, because Heyman is advancing in through here. Michelle Heyman with the first chance, and she's rather scuffed at it. Maybe a little bit of ring rustiness from the Matildas international.
But she's put her hand up there in an apology, and I think we've seen Michelle Heyman time and time again through this with this kind of ball on goal, where she's easily able to take a touch around the keeper, but she had a bit of close attention there and probably rushed her shot a little bit. But hand of apology to the players, and I think she'd like that one again.
She's tried to lift the ball with the right foot over the advancing Fryer McLaren. It showed a fair bit of pace there, shows no sign of diminishing. 32 years of age now, Michelle Heyman. 63 W League goals in 115 matches. Really good return. It's Campagnale. Dorber in support. Runners ahead of her. Wirtz is one of them. Just pushed a bit too far for Wirtz. Hodgson works to keep it in and manages to do so. And then delivers a wicked ball into the area. Fletcher cleared up. Hodgson again. And this time she's penalised. Delicious looking cross though, wasn't it? Asking for someone to get on the end of it.
Well, Hodgson did really well to keep that one in there and make something of it. I thought it was just going to skirt out, but put in a hard bit of work, and she's recovered back now in time, but I think she'll be feeling that run.
Nash forward to Satchel.
Satchel's one I'm also interested to see sort of her playing skill and her capability and what she brings to this side. I'm not too familiar with her as a player. Kiwi international though, she's got a great bit of experience.
Wirtz has dropped off into the pocket here, found herself a little bit of room. On towards Dorber's shots. Thought for a moment it just opened up for Chelsea Dorber to try the curler.
Just Nash doing a really good job on her at the moment, just keeping her feet, standing her up, not diving in, and did well to get in front of a fancy bit of Chelsea Dorber footwork there.
You see the teenage debutants across the W League, and there seems to be no nerves amongst any of them. It must be a generational thing, Grace.
Look, I think there would be some nerves, and I think naturally coming into this competition, for so many of these girls, it's been their dream to play in the W League, and I think this season lends themselves to that opportunity. I think that's fantastic.
Some twinkle toe footwork from Dorber again, wins the free kick this time. Talking of experience, Kate Jakovic. Plenty of W League experience in the middle. Great to see a couple of local officials on the line as well. Holmes with a free kick. Lifts it towards the far post. Keir with a header. Flannery. Firm challenge that from Ma on Emily Hodgson. No quarter asked in that one. Here's Koulazakis. Bit of space here for Canberra United to work something forwards. Folletta. Satchel. Looking to take on Webber and pinging it across the penalty area. Holmes was well positioned.
That worked well there for Canberra United, getting a nice fast switch out of play, out of pressure, and then found Izzy Folletta in space out on the right. I think both Adelaide and Canberra United need to be looking for that switch play to open up the field and give themselves a bit more room on the ball.
Well, those in green have looked sharp on the break. Plenty of pace in this Canberra United attack. And Adelaide, for their part, have looked dangerous as well. Don't travel too well, Adelaide. They want to win 34 games without a win from August 08 to December 2011. And if you are an Adelaide fan, I don't want to put a dampener on it, but they've only ever won 1 of 11 opening season matches. 5 draws and 6 losses amongst that. Looking for a better start today. Here's Flannery advancing. She's got Heyman to the left. Opens up for Michelle Heyman. And Satchel couldn't get on the end of the cross.
Look, some promising signs there for Canberra United. I saw Paige Satchel begging for the ball there from Nikki Flannery, just begging for it to be released, but she found Michelle out on the left, who was able to put in a ball for an opportunity, but it just skirted away and has gone out for a goal kick. We can hear Vicky Linton on the side there saying to Michelle that we're not getting enough pressure.
And then straight away she puts the pressure on McNamara and wins the ball back. Tenacious defending from McNamara though. Here's Ma. Satchel. Runner outside is Folletta. 3 green shirts in the box if Folletta could pick them out, but she's got the cross wrong.
Look, the overlapping run is perfect, and that shape and positioning by Izzy Folletta is spot on. It's just that execution on the delivery that she'll be disappointed with.
You mentioned that they've been warming up with some games against the local TSP boys teams, and they're always good challenges.
Yeah, look, they are. The boys at that sort of 14, 15-year-old age are really challenging, very technical and super fit. They just run all day. So certainly the girls have had some challenges and been tested really well coming into this season.
There's McNamara. Heyman again puts her under pressure. Here's a real chance for Michelle Heyman, and still has it. And Heyman on the turn. Might fall for Flannery. Real opportunity this. And Fryer McLaren denies the Canberra winger. And credit, I think, to Matilda McNamara for recovering from the error and putting the pressure on Heyman, making it difficult.
She surely did make her job difficult, but Michelle's taken that really literally from Vicky Linton to put that pressure on and give herself some opportunities. But well done by McNamara there to put in some really mature defending and just commit the ball, and great work as well by Nikki Flannery to chase that in and get a corner for Canberra United.
A superb recovery tackle from Matilda McNamara. Got some more defending to do though. First corner of the season for Canberra United. Swung in by Maya Fletcher was the target. The header came in. I think it may have been Kulazakis. Fryer McLaren not messing around. Good open field to this.
It is. We're just seeing things starting to settle into that sort of 20-minute patch of the game where both sides are trying to knock it down a bit more and take that sort of edge, that frantic edge out of the game and really start to play some football.
Here. Fletcher. It's a loose one. Wirtz has it. Rojas has made the run through the middle, and it's Rojas for Adelaide United against her former club. Cote with the opportunity, and she buries it in the corner. And the away side have the lead, biting the hand that used to feed her. It's Maria Rojas, the Lady Reds in front.
That's a really fantastic, composed finish there by Rojas, and Kendall Fletcher will be disappointed with that pass there. You can see off screen she's waving to her teammates to apologise for the pass that was picked up by Rojas, but Rojas does really well to get through on goal with this one, and she had a lot of pressure on her from Jess Nash, and Fletcher was able to recover, but really tidy finish in the end. Nothing much Sally James could have done about that one.
Only a second W League goal for the Chilean international. Her first was for Canberra, that one's for Adelaide. Chance. The first opportunity she had of goal, and tucks it away.
Well, she's a dangerous little player in there, really exciting, really energetic. She's great on the ball, and we've seen the kind of footwork that she is capable of. So close attention needed for Rojas for the remainder of the game, and Canberra United really need to settle in.
Well, a chance at one end, and Adelaide's at the other. 40th time that Adelaide have scored the first goal in the W League. They've won 21 of those. United looking for a response. Here's Kulazakis in the penalty area. And good positioning again from Fryer McLaren.
Lovely little deft touch in there from Nikki Flannery to help onto Michelle Heyman there, and real chance for Kulazakis, and keen to see her, to see Kulazakis more on the ball. I think she's got a great value to add to this side. She's a really physical player. Texas Tech alumni. She's got that American kind of physicality about her that she brings into the W League.
Here's the goal scorer, Rojas. Space for Campagnale. Hodgson. Excuse me. Here come Adelaide again. And that one's wide. We're getting fed up here, Grace. From the local football clubs.
Taking care of us, Russ. Deliveroo up here.
Delivering the burgers, the Eagles burgers. Fletcher sends it forwards. Hodgson. Here's Condon. Adelaide flowing at the moment. So Rojas is going in for a second. And James cuts it out.
Good call there by Sally James to come off her line and meet that ball. Good confident hands, and Rojas, she does that really well, just sneaking between the lines, and I think there may have been an offside there, but Sally James, good decision to come off her line and collect that one.
Not ideal for Canberra, 2-4 behind here, but they'll be looking for a response. And that player in the screen, Michelle Heyman, is possibly the most likely. It's McNamara, long ball forwards. Nice touch from Rojas, but Keir was sticking to her like a shadow. Here's Ma. Koulazakis. Watched her in the warm-up, and she has got one heck of a strike on her, hasn't she?
She certainly does. She's got some absolute power behind that strike, so I'd really like to see her get an opportunity on goal.
Well, plenty to be positive about from both sides at the moment. Wirtz goes wide to Emily Hodgson, tries to slide it through. After a bit of a shaky opening, Adelaide have settled really well.
Yeah, they have. I think for the first few minutes there, Canberra were looking to have the ascendancy, but Adelaide have settled into the game nicely and put in a fair bit of pressure on Canberra United's defence.
Rojas looking for some space. Here they come again. An important foot in from Nashlat. Can United break? Canberra version, of course. McNamara with a very strong challenge in the middle of the park. On Paige Satchel and a yellow card.
Yeah, look, I think that's probably a fair call there. That was a fairly hefty challenge there on Paige Satchel. It looks like she might have even gotten a cork or just some heavy contact there, and she's taken a while to get up. Yeah, just that trailing leg, and that's really going to hurt.
Right in the midriff as well.
I don't think there was a huge amount of malice in the challenge, but it's just that moment of recklessness to get your leg out of the way and invite a bit of contact. And Satchel, she's already gotten some heavy knocks in the first 25 minutes of her W League career.
More clumsy than anything else, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think that's right.
She gets up and shakes it off, the Kiwi. 11 caps for the national team and 1 goal. But a spell with FC Sand in Germany as well.
Look, she's an experienced player and a really valuable bit of experience to come into this Canberra United side. Paige Satchel is.
Fletcher over the set piece. Flannery invites Lauren Keir to swing a left foot at it. Decent ball into the penalty area. Holmes won it initially. Danger not over. Grace Marr with the efforts. Always drifting away from goal, and Sian Fryer McLaren had it covered. Better though from a forward perspective from Canberra United.
Yeah, good bit of work by Lauren Keir there, getting forward and finding an overlapping run on her left foot. And I was speaking to Gracie Marr before the game about options she's been taking on her right in training and how she's had some success. So I'm sure she was lining that one up.
As she was saying beforehand, she pinged one nicely in that friendly you were talking about.
That's right.
Home fans will be hoping to see some of that. At the moment, it's the visitors who have the advantage. Here's Campagnale. Emily Condon slides the ball through. Isabel Hodgson, real opportunity for 2. Beautifully taken. Wonderfully taken by Isabel Hodgson. And just like that, Adelaide are 2 to the good.
Look, that is a beautifully textbook finish there by Isabel Hodgson, and just saw the ball come into the instep of her right foot. But to be fair, Canberra United defence just getting picked apart there a little bit too easily, and the ball that separated the two was just opened up for Hodgson, and fantastic finish for her, but just almost too easy. But beautiful textbook finish, and Sally James making a good claim at it, but it was a really, really tidy finish there by Hodgson.
Just passed it into the corner nonchalantly. For all the youngsters watching, you don't have to take the leather off the ball. The direction is just as important, and the Lady Reds are flying. Sense of shock around Viking Park. I mentioned Adelaide have only ever won once here. against Canberra United. Overall, they've only ever beaten them 3 times in 19 games. This is the 20th time the two have met in the competition. So you'd say, on paper at least, it's a little bit of an upset. On form at the moment, thoroughly deserved.
You see as well, Paige Satchell and Nikki Flannery have switched up, which is a suggestion I was going to make, and Vicky Linton must have read my mind. Just to change things up and sort of defensive pressure and putting Paige out on the other side and Nikki up against Mallory Webber, just to switch things around a little bit, and that's exactly what she's done.
Saw an example of it just there. Satchell twisting and turning in a tight space. Well, Adrian Stenter, this W League coaching luck is a piece of cake, isn't it? 2-0 up, away from home. Couldn't have dreamed of a better start to his coaching career as a head coach at this level. McNamara again sticking close to Heyman. It's going to break for Flannery. Folletta. Hughes. Lovely touch, Flannery, to get away from Webber. Outstanding stuff. Can she pick a pass out of it? Good defending from Holmes at the expense of a corner. A wonderful skill from Nikki Flannery.
That was a beautiful bit of skill there from Nikki Flannery. She felt the pressure of Mallory Webber coming hot on her right shoulder and was able to just flick it over her left. And Nikki Flannery's got some speed to burn as well. So pleased to see her out on this right flank and what she can do.
Grace Maher jogs across to take the corner. Canberra committing plenty into this. Another 6 in the penalty area. Can Maher pick one of them out? A real cluster of players in and around Fryer McLaren. Swung into that area. The keeper's come and missed it at the expense of a goal kick. Dangerous delivery from Grace Maher. Just no one could get a hand on it. And Fryer McLaren, her heart must have been in her mouth momentarily.
That's a really threatening delivery there from Grace Maher, and great corner that she's knocked in. A shame to see Canberra United not get some contact on the end of that one.
Well, Isabel Hodgson on your screen just there. That's her 3rd W League goal in 34 appearances. Took it like a seasoned striker. Here she is again, chasing after it. Will Vicky Linton be a little bit disappointed about how easy the through ball was allowed and Condon was allowed to have that space? Come back to that in a second as a card is coming out for Laura Hughes.
Look, I think the challenge there from Laura Hughes, the header was fine. It was just the trailing elbow that got the back of the head there. And I think she's argued it as well, which probably hasn't helped the situation.
She's trying to explain her case here. Kendall Fletcher, as the skipper, is on the scene too. Okay, Jakovic is explaining exactly what she saw and exactly why the Canberra United midfielder is going to see yellow.
It's a really, really important opportunity in the game for Canberra United to take stock of the scoreline and where it's at, and the leadership group to come together and to talk about the next 15 minutes of this game. But you can see Laura Hughes gets up really well for the header. It's just the elbow on the way down, and I don't think there's any real malice in that challenge. It's just a trailing elbow, and it's the right call, but there's nothing much to be done about it.
Yeah, I didn't think there was an awful lot in it up for the header. Point I was making just before that blew up there, Grace, was the space that Emily Condon was afforded to be able to dropped into that little pocket and brilliantly. But is that worrying sign for Vicky Linton, the way she was able to do that? Yeah,
look, I think it is. I think a player's ability to find space between the lines is made easier by an opponent's team. So Canberra United just need to tighten up and be able to track their players to ensure that they don't have that much time and space on the ball.
Holmes swings it into the penalty area. Good header from Fletcher. Comes out for Hodgson. Chance for Adelaide again. Wirtz was trying to work it onto that left foot. Satchell comes away with it. Just past the half hour. We're wayside 2 to the good. Maria Rojas and Isabel Hodgson with the goals, if you've tuned in late. A bit blustery at our level. Don't think there's too much of it down at pitch side though.
Oh, it's a beautiful evening for football. Starting to cool down a little bit as well, and there is that breeze coming across the stadium. But lovely weather for football on an evening. About 20 degrees, a bit under 20 degrees Celsius, I'd say, Russ. What's that, 60 Fahrenheit for our international viewers?
Better than I am, I have no idea.
There's some unreliable math in that, I promise.
It started off overcast here in Canberra today, and the sun came out and a little bit warm while we were prepping for this one. Could certainly feel it when we were down having a look around the pitch. As Grace says, though, it's cooled off, perfect conditions. Adelaide on the attack again. Rojas, beautifully done to get away from Nash. 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, and the decision goes in favour of Canberra. Tug on the shirt from Rojas.
We see again, though, that skill from Rojas. She just has the ability, with the ball at her feet, can be really unpredictable, really tough to defend against, and we've seen that for this opening period in tonight's match.
James with the dead ball. Heyman had that half chance earlier on, didn't she? Best opportunity for Canberra so far in the match. Here's Webber. Long ball forwards. Rojas chasing. Kendall Fletcher doing the tidying up. Nash, that's nicely done. Folletta, a little tentative in the challenge, and Isabel Hodgson got a foot on it onto the Canberra defender. Rojas. Great but close ball control. Webber. Campagnale. Nash with the ball up front. It's McNamara though. Plenty of time to make a decision, and Holmes helps her out. Nice crossfield ball, that.
It's a really smart switch there from Holmes to get out of a bit of pressure.
Space for Grace Marr. Going to pick a ball forward. Heyman tried to roll Dylan Holmes. Emily Condon with the defending. 3 players around Campagnale, but still she manages to pick a pass.
I think Campagnale is a really important piece of this Adelaide United side. Been playing with the squad for a number of years now, and she's now one of the experienced
Wirtz
players.
has put it through. Sorry, Grace. Wirtz looked for the run of Rojas, and just for a moment thought she was going to get in goal side.
Promising signs there for Adelaide United, but a good decision by Sally James again to come off her line and meet that one.
There's not much you could do about either goal, the young goalkeeper. There's a chance for Satchel to stretch the legs. McNamara, though, cool and calm. Hodgson forwards. Woods has done well there. There's a chance for Dorber. Fletcher. Here's Koulazakis. And Hughes has managed to find Folletta. Noticeable lift in the volume in Canberra. Get on the attack. Flannery. Assessing the options. Good ball to Michelle Heyman in the penalty area. Fires it across goal. Real chance here. There's great save from Farah McLaren, and the rebound from Satchel goes wide of the target. And the Adelaide stopper keeps her side's advantage at 2.
That's such an important bit of play there for Canberra United. Michelle Heyman's done really well to cut that back to the top of the 6 yard, and Demi Koulazakis gets a shot on frame, but good save there by Shah McLaren, and Satchel's going to be really disappointed with her effort on goal there. That's a really key piece in this game for Canberra United to get on the scoreboard.
Yeah, the Kiwi will feel she should have halved the deficits. Came at her very quickly in her defence. Reaction was sharp enough, just not the accuracy. Bit of a let off that for Adelaide's. There's Flannery. Hughes. Heyman. Marr. Keir offering the overlap. Satchel. Going to take on Hodgson, and slipped at an opportune time, but Keir kept the attack going. McNamara with the clearance. Rojas, the lonely figure in red up front. Canberra United could sense something here.
I think just the ability to possess the ball and have controlled possession is really important at this point in the game, and we saw from that build that opportunity in the last couple of minutes, and building from the back there with Kendall Fletcher, Jess Nash, You can see a solid central defence partnership coming between the two of them, a really young defender and a very, very experienced defender in Kendall Fletcher.
79 W League appearances between them, all of them for Kendall Fletcher.
I'm sure plenty more ahead of her for Jess Nash.
Here's Grace Smart looking to pull the strings from the playmaker position. Nash sweeps it towards Flannery. Webber is forced home. It's asked a fair bit of Brian McLaren, that one. Experienced keeper does well though, but only finds Satchel with the clearance. Paige Satchel driving a goal into the penalty, and again wonderful defending from McNamara. Satchel though not giving up the ghost just yet. Has another go at the central defender, who sticks out the leg and again defends superbly.
That's some really fantastic defending there by McNamara, and she's, for me, done a really fantastic job in the first part of this game. And against both Satchel and Michelle Heyman, she's a great size for a defender, and she's really held her own against experienced international players.
Yeah, you talk about central defensive partnership. Matilda McNamara at 22, Dylan Holmes at 23. Looking very solid for Adelaide United.
They really are commanding that central defence there.
Canberra up in the ante though. 5 minutes to half time. Folletta. No real room to work at all for Izzy Folletta. And that's credit again to Isabel Hodgson. And Adelaide noticeably have been very sharp to close down Canberra's creative ball players.
Yeah, look, Adelaide put in really great pressure on Canberra, and Izzy Folletta really had nowhere to go with that one. She didn't have anyone checking to feed and providing an outlet.
Rojas. Nicely done again. Good touch that from Campagnoli, inviting Hodgson to join the attack from right back. Emily Hodgson into the penalty area. Just stretching. Comes out for Condon. And Grace Marr says that'll do. Sends it forward towards Heyman. The run is on from Flannery. In behind here, Nikki Flannery. Real chance for Canberra United. Nikki Flannery just wide of goal. Super counter-attack from Canberra United, and Flannery shows her pace. Couldn't quite though get it on target, but just a warning sign for Adrian Stenter and his coaching team.
Well, that pass from Michelle Heyman there, the weight behind that pass, a perfect timing through. Nikki Flannery with a brilliant run, and she'll be so frustrated with herself. You could see off screen after the effort that she just had her hands on her head, and she knew that one had to be on frame, but really promising signs for Canberra United in the later end of this half.
Credit to Freya McLaren as well for coming out, spreading herself, making herself look big. And Flannery did the right thing, taking it early. Very young bench Canberra United have got today, should mention that. Hayley Taylor-Young, Rachel Goldstein, Bianca Galich, Emily Osti and Keely Richards, the goalkeeper. And the same for Adelaide United, to be fair. Ella Tonkin, Mallory Mullen, Lara Kirkby and Annalie Grove, who's from this neck of the woods. Promising young goalkeeper. It's part of the Canberra United Academy. And her sister is in the Canberra United squad, I believe, Sasha Grove.
She is. She's just signed up to a full contract with the team, which is really great news for Sasha Grove. Not in today's playing squad, but again, another very young player with a promising future ahead of her.
Heavy knock there for Dorbat. Got that strapping on the right thigh, whether that's precautionary or from an injury. This one was on the left ankle, though, it would seem.
Chelsea Dorber's another really important part of this Adelaide United side. Again, she's been around the squad for a number of years now, and just invited a bit of heavy contact there from Kendall Fletcher, and she'll be feeling that one for a couple of days to come, I'm sure.
He just sits in that middle of the park and orchestrates things. Adelaide looking to end the half on the attack. Chance for them to perhaps swing this into the penalty area. Committed 4 into the attack. The 2 goal scorers both in and around the penalty area themselves. slipped into that area, and it might fall for Rojas, and Fletcher not agriculturally got rid of it, but did the job.
Look, interesting choice of surface, but like you say, Russ did the job.
Wirtz shows good skill and pace and swings that one in. That's clunked off the head. Was that Grace Marr? Right in the face. On the back of the head, I should say. A little winded one there for young Marr.
I think it might have been one of those ones that just clip you in the back of the head completely unexpectedly, and she went down straight away, and Kate Jakovic was quick to call on the physio. They'll probably do a concussion test here, which is the right thing to do, and ensure player welfare is a priority. But you can see there's some laughs there down on the field, so hopefully she's okay and good to keep going.
Well, Vicky Linton has a bit of work to do at half-time. Her coaching staff, assisted by Emily Husbands today, or this season I should say, and Chantal Jones, a goalkeeping coach as well.
Well, Emily Husband, new to the W League, but brings an absolute wealth of experience. Rush, she's from your homeland. She's an Englishwoman herself, and she's been working with Sydney Uni for the last couple of years with some of their academy programs. So, really good person to have on the scene, and for the Canberra United coaching staff.
A very strong female influence on the Canberra United coaching staff, and they have had down the years. Vicky Linton, the 7th Canberra United head coach, behind Robbie Hooker, Ray Juna, Yuka Klimkova, Elizabeth Mickelson, Ray Dower and Heather Garriok. Some good coaches on that list. And Vicky Linton adding her name to it. His shoes. Have United got something left in the tank for the first half? Folletta wanted Flannery to make the run in the channel. Flannery didn't go, just on the wrong wavelength there, the pair. There's no fourth officials board, so can't tell you how long we've got added on. Could take a guess. We're going to go with Grace 2.
We'll go with 1 minute of extra time, Russ.
1 minute?
Yep.
Well, we're going to get it. Couldn't quite hear that either. Hodgson sends that forwards. Heyman looking to get in behind here, and she's got half a yard. Michelle Heyman, not much in support at the moment. Now she fires it across. Second bite of the cherry for Michelle Heyman. Still going. Pulls it back for Hughes, who tries one from distance with that left foot. And a test for Fry McLaren, but a fairly straightforward one. 3 minutes of time alone, you can see on your screen.
Not a bad effort there from Laura Hughes as well. We've seen her score from that distance before, so I think that's the right choice to have a shot there, but clean, strong hands from McLaren.
Kulazakis wins it in midfield. Marr, fully recovered, finds Flannery. Ball in towards Heyman, who got the header on it, but that was always asking a fair bit, even for someone of Michelle Heyman's quality. Very good in the air, Heyman. That would have been something spectacular, though. Sum up the first half for us, Grace, and Adelaide worthy of their 2-goal advantage, you think?
Look, I think at this point in the game they probably are, but that said, Canberra United have created chances of their own, and probably unfortunate not to have at least one in the back of the net. Adelaide have just made the most of their chances and been really quite disciplined in defence. Canberra on the other end of things have struggled to capitalise on the really quality opportunities they have had.
So if you're a fan of those in green, plenty of hope for optimism. If you're a fan of those in red, well, you must be very happy right about now. As we come into the closing stages of the first half. Here's Rojas, showing good strength as well.
That's something Rojas does so well. She absorbs two players to defend her, because she holds onto the ball in such a way that it's really hard to get away from her, and she draws players across, and then suddenly there's other players who are free and able to collect the ball. It's a really quality aspect she brings to this Adelaide side.
Webber looking to find Rojas, settles for the throw. Officials take a look at the watch. Kate Jakovic, as we come up to the end of the final 3 minutes of the first half. Here's Rojas, takes it into the corner, and that'll do us. Adelaide United in control, Grace.
Yeah, they are very much so at this point in time, and I think it's going to be quite a conversation at halftime with Vicky Linton and her playing squad. They've got a bit of work to do, and the opportunities have been there, and they just haven't been able to take them. But absolute credit to Adelaide United, who have been a very disciplined side and made the most of their chances in this first half.
Well, it's 2 goals from Adelaide United that are the difference at the moment. Maria Jose Rojas after 21 minutes, Isabel Hodgson after 28 at the break here at Viking Park. It's Canberra United 0, Adelaide United 2.
Westfield are proud supporters of women's football and eager to pack up the Westfield League. Westfield unites local football community cycling from fans to the game. Canberra United United Bank Patronage sponsors the 2020-21 Westfield League season. The ACT government cover offers the ultimate work-life balance with access to world-class facilities.
Welcome back to Viking Park. We're at the break. It's a brace of goals for Adelaide United that keeps them in front. Maria Rojas with the first, Isabel Hodgson with the second, and Grace. It was a game in which Adelaide took a while to come into, but once they did, they got on top. Looking at a bit of the highlights in the first half, this was the first opportunity for Canberra, Michelle Heyman.
We've seen Michelle Heyman do this time and time again over the years, where she's ordinarily able to round the keeper. Had a bit too much pressure on her in that opportunity, but she's looking dangerous with the ball at her feet and running on goals.
There was two real good chances for Canberra in the first half. We'll see the one from Flannery later. This is a good bit of defending from Matilda McNamara, who, to her credit, has kept Heyman very quiet.
I think Matilda McNamara is doing a great job on Michelle Heyman tonight, and we've mentioned this one throughout the first half. Rojas just does this fantastic job of occupying a couple of players, and she was able to keep the ball at her feet with that opportunity. It's a really class finish, and Sally James unable to do too much with that one, but Rojas is causing some serious troubles for Canberra's defence.
Yeah, the way she took her time there just to cut inside and finish on the left foot. And here's the second goal. Lovely ball from Condon, and Hodgson just passes it into the corner.
Yeah, absolute textbook finish there by Hodgson, and she'll be really pleased with that effort, and just demonstrates that it doesn't need to be too powerful or have too much venom behind it, but just placing a ball like that, and really textbook finish.
Canberra came back and had their chances. This was a good save from Fry McLaren, and young Paige Satchel will be wanting that one back.
That's right, and that's the thing, Canberra United not without their chances, and this one as well from Nikki Flannery with a beautiful through ball there from Michelle Heyman, just that penetrating pass, that slippy ball through, and Nikki Flannery, I'm sure she'd have that one back 100 times again and she'd finish it, but really, really good work by Adelaide United to be able to capitalise on their chances, and Canberra United had a couple of moments gone begging.
Yeah, they good two opportunities that they've had, and Rojas took the first one superbly well, which we expected. Isabel Hodgson, perhaps less so because she doesn't score many goals, but the way she just took her time and calmly struck that in the corner, that suggestion beforehand that Webber was going to be further forward and Hodgson back, decision from Adrian Stenter, very much justified.
Look, it's really paid off. I think Mallory Webber's done a really great job on Paige Satchel this evening, and Hodgson's done a great bit of work up and down this flank, and as we mentioned, textbook finish, but we did expect to see them the other way around, so we'll see what happens in this second half to see if that remains to be.
Well, we'll come back and have a little bit of a chat more about the second half. It's Adelaide United, who are 2 to the good. The sun's starting to go down here at Viking Park as we await the teams out for the second half. Adelaide United 2, Canberra United 0. Rojas and Isabel Hodgson with the goals. Quick look at the stats. Not much in it from both sides in terms of corners and fouls conceded, Grace. It's perhaps a scoreline a little bit harsh on Canberra United, but it's hard to say that Adelaide didn't deserve at least one goal, if not both of them at their goal.
Yeah, look, I think that's right, Russ, and hard to take that away from Adelaide United as well. I think they've been really disciplined in defence. I think they've handled Michelle Heyman and Paige Satchel very well. McNamara particularly is having a great show in this first half, and on the other end of things, they've been really precise in their finishing, and they've taken their chances, and I think for the most part Canberra United have probably had more chances and just unable to put those away.
The midfield three of Emily Condon, Georgia Campagnale and Chelsea Dorber, we mentioned it during commentary, they've been exceptional, haven't they, in that first half. The way that Canberra tried to counter-attack very quickly and they get back and control the midfield as we watch a bit more of the highlights of the first half.
Yeah, I think that's right. Campagnale, she's been really busy in there, and Condon as well. And I think a couple of times Canberra United's midfield has been caught out ball watching, and I spoke a bit before about Rojas as well, occupying a couple of defenders and just taking them away from other players, and it just opens it up for Adelaide United, which is causing troubles for Canberra at the moment.
What have you made of Michelle Heyman's performance so far as we watch Cote Rojas opening the scoring for Adelaide?
Look, I think Michelle's been pretty good, but I think there's definitely room for improvement in her being more effective. I think McNamara has obviously been tasked to pay Michelle some pretty close attention this evening, and she's doing that very well. I think for Michelle, she needs to find the ball more at her feet, and that might mean checking further in to receive it. Where that takes Michelle away from her strength has been close to the goal, though. So looking to get some wraparound runs, a bit of closer support from people like Nikki Flannery and Paige Satchel, and there's that finish again from Hodgson, and really fantastic bit of really precise finishing. For
a young goalkeeper, is Sally James too near her front post there, or is it we just going to say the quality of the finish was just too good? Should she perhaps be half a step to her left?
Well, I think that's all that's in it, Russ, is half a step, and yes, perhaps she could have been half a step to her left, but it was a really class finish by Hodgson. Sally James, I don't think there was a great deal she could have done about particularly the Rojas goal. Maybe she could have got a fingertip onto the second goal there, but she's also come out and made some really good grabs off her line and come off her line really confidently, which is important for a young goalkeeper.
She's looked very good as a young goalkeeper. Interesting to see if there's any changes at the break. Canberra United are out to have a bit of a warm-up at the start of the second half. You used to do this when you played?
No. No, this is fitness as far as I'm concerned.
Far too tiring.
This is exhausting. But really good to see Canberra United coming out, and they're looking really energised, they're looking ready to go. You can see they've got the right sort of physicality coming into this second half, and Adelaide United just starting to come out off screen at the moment. So that's exactly what Canberra need to do going into this second half, is come out with a whole lot of energy.
Michelle Heyman, we mentioned, 51 goals for Canberra, the most of all time. She was 4 times leading goal scorer at this club. 6 goals away from Samka's record for Perth Glory for goals for one club.
You see those moments in games as well where Michelle had an early opportunity in the first half, and had that gone in, that could have completely changed the way that this game has fallen. And I'm sure in this second half, if Canberra are to score early, we'll have an absolute cracker on our hands.
Adelaide United under Adrian Stenser. Mentioned that Vicky Linton was the 7th Canberra United coach. Adrian Stenser is the 8th to take the reins at Adelaide United. Michael Barnett, David Edmondson, Ross Aloisi, Jamie Harnwell, Mark Jones, Hussein Skenderovic, and Ivan Karlovic.
Well, Ivan Karlovic moved into the head of women's football at Adelaide United, which I think is a really wonderful thing for the club, and it meant that Adrian Stenser stepped up into the head coaching role, and had been at the club for a couple of years in the assistant coaching position, so it was a really natural progression, and I think he'll be really pleased with his start to his head coaching career with this Adelaide United women's side.
12 times in the W League, Adelaide have led 2-0. They've gone on to win 9 times. 3 occasions were a draw. So there is hope from the history for Canberra United. I mentioned earlier that Adelaide have only won 1 of 11 opening season matches. Well, they're 45 minutes away from making it 2.
I saw it on screen just there, Michelle Heyman laughing, smiling as she's warming up, and I think that's when she's the most dangerous. You see her smiling, Michelle Heyman, and you know you're in a bit of trouble. So hopefully that bodes well for Canberra United, and Adelaide have a task on hand to maintain their lead into the second half.
Fiona Wirtz over the ball ready to get proceedings underway. Adelaide leading by those first half goals from Rojas and Isabel Hodgson. And on the attack straight away. Dorber does well. Running into a bit of a cul-de-sac, needs some supports. Clips it into the penalty area. That should be easy for James. Confidence booster at the start of the second half for the young keeper. And a good distribution too to find Heyman. Satchel. Head down, driving at the Adelaide defence. Hughes. Kulazakis. Lovely ball through. Michelle Heyman, and again, it's McNamara to the defensive rescue.
That's a really positive start there, though for Canberra. And we saw in that piece Michelle checking really high off her line to come to the ball, and she does that so well. That's what she does as a really traditional number 9. Lays it off and then turns and recycles her run in to look for the ball again. So positive signs, positive start for Canberra United.
Heyman, of course, had a spell with Adelaide in the W League. Once again, there's a cluster of bodies in front of Fryer McLaren, making it as difficult as they can for the goalkeeper. And the referee, Kate Jakovic, wants to have a chat about that. They're pushing and shoving. Are you on VAR?
I am VAR, that's right. Well, Kendall Fletcher, always really active in these kind of set pieces, loves to get the ball on her head. I'm sure she'll be the target for this one, and it looks like Kate Jakovic is having to talk to both her and Campagnale just to keep things nice and cool. And Kendall with her arms up said, wasn't me.
As every old pro does. Here's Cray Smart with the corner. Decent delivery to the near post. Flicked on, chance here. Fletcher did win it at the near post. Hughes. Well, there's no one in green to get on the end of the flick on. Great delivery again, though, from Grace Marr. Rojas chasing. Nash forced to go home. James with the clearance. Paige Satchel, love to give the mark today if she can. Had that one chance in the first half. Let's give the Adelaide team huge confidence when they see Matilda McNamara doing a good job on Michelle Heyman. Here's Nash. Heyman's touch, and wants to return, and's got the pace to get away. Real chance, Michelle Heyman in on goal, inevitably done. She was never going to miss that one. Michelle Heyman back in green and scoring in green, and it's game on.
Well, that's the Michelle Heyman that Canberra United fans know and love, and we saw that similar kind of opportunity in the first half where she wasn't able to capitalise on it, but she's taken a really solid first touch on that one. Tidy finish, class finish. Well done, Michelle Heyman.
Just what the home fans ordered. Michelle Heyman with her 64th W League goal, and didn't she take it well? Just slotted it under Fryer McLaren. You could do nothing about that one. And it's taking Canberra 3 minutes to half the deficit. Be interesting to see now how Adelaide respond to that. Here's Condon. Dorber. Chelsea Dorber. Campagnale. Thought about the shot from distance, I think. Rojas. She's not shy to have a go. Wirtz. Curls one towards that far post. It's off the crossbar. And it almost fell for Weber on the rebound. And the flag does go up, though, against the American. But wonderful effort from Fiona Wirtz. We haven't seen her much as an attacking sense in terms of chances, but this was brilliant.
Look, I think she's been relatively quiet in the first half, but just a nice little drop of the left shoulder to open herself up for an opportunity there, and geez, that was a lovely shot. She's Canberra United saved by the woodwork there, and it was offside in the end, but wouldn't have that been up for goal of the year?
Superb effort from Wirtz. We mentioned she was a relative unknown to most of us here. If she starts burying a few of those, she'll certainly become known around the world. Hopefully her family and friends are watching back in the UK. Probably screaming at the TV saying she scores 60 goals a season or something. So close to getting off the mark. Satchel can't get away from Emily Hodgson. Rojas. Lauren Keir says no way through on that occasion. And then gives away a rather soft free kick.
Yeah, probably a bit unnecessary contact there. Rojas is the kind of experienced and smart player who will really invite that contact and give Adelaide an opportunity to settle the ball at their feet again.
Holmes. Here's McNamara. Emily Hodgson. McNamara. Pressure from Kulizakis. Now Emily Hodgson is going to be forced to go back to Fra McLaren. And there's a spring in the step of Canberra United, as you'd expect.
There is, and they're starting with a slightly higher defensive line with their attacking players as well, which is causing a few problems with Adelaide's defence. They're not able to play out so easily, and you can see Michelle Heyman, Demi are pressing really high now.
And Grace Mars won the ball back. Can't get it past McNamara. Good ball forward. Rojas using her body strength to try and twist away from Keir. Wants support from Campagnale, but Nikki Flannery read the intention. And Folletta finds Sally James. Hodgson needed to read the bounce. It was a horrible little kick up in front of her. You can feel the confidence growing, not just on the field, but around the ground as well. Canberra United faithful feel there's something for them in this one. McNamara. Rojas. Nice ball for Hodgson, but she'll struggle to keep it in. She's done exceptionally well to do so. Fletcher. Kulizakis with the flick. Grace Marr. Looks towards Heyman. Tries to spin her marker. And Webber gets slightly fortunate. And off she goes on a run. Looks for the run outside of Dorber, I think that is, and he slides it across goal. Rojas arriving. And United may have dodged one there.
Look, that's a chance that's gone big in there for Adelaide United, and Hodgson's done really well to cut that across the face of the goal, and I thought Sally James was going to make a claim at it, and fortunately Lauren Keir had done the work and the defensive duties on Rojas, but a bit of a half chance there for Adelaide United.
Yeah, my apologies, it was Isabel Hodgson making a run forwards. There's Nash. Two young benches we mentioned in the first half. I'm just going to see who twists the cards first. There's been a lot of talk in the off-season, Grace, about the lack of what we would call big names in the competition this year, but it has given an opportunity for us to see lots of new players. Over the first 3 games they've been shown live on Fox Sports. A good chance for some of these players coming up from the Women's National Premier League as well.
I think it's a really fantastic opportunity. We're seeing great talent.
Come back to that point in a minute as Heyman looks to take on McNamara, who stands firm once more. Looking for support, Michelle Heyman. Twisting and turning, going on her own. It's Folletta. Going to force her way through. Yeah, the point I was making.
Yeah. I think as I was saying, it's a really fantastic opportunity. We see girls who have been playing in this Women's National Premier Leagues all across the country who are stepping up, and this is their dream to play in the W League. And I think the fact that they're getting that opportunity and they're getting their chance to play at a higher level is great. And yes, there are some of these bigger names I say missing, but I think there's still some really brilliant quality in the league, and I think we'll see some names come through that we haven't heard too much before, and they may be our next household names in Matildas.
It's been excellent entertainment, this one. 55 minutes of it gone. Ma. Canberra looking for a way back from 2 down. Flannery's collided from the left side.
It's a lovely switch there from Grace Marr, but Mallory Webber has read that really well to get a defensive header on that and just had a heavy collision there with Nikki Flannery, and it looks like Webber's come off worse.
Yeah, landed awkwardly, didn't she? I think maybe on the ankle.
And while we've got this breaking play as well, it looks like Hayley Taylor-Young might be gearing up to make an appearance this evening. Currently chatting to coach Vicky Linton on the sideline. Might be Canberra United's first change for the evening.
And there's the incident again. Just a coming together of two players.
Yeah, a bit of an awkward landing there, but she's back up on her feet.
Well, if Adelaide United were concerned about the pace they had to face at the start of this game, they're about to see Hayley Taylor-Young, and she is rapid.
She is rapid.
In the meantime, a little bit of defending for United to do of the Canberra variety. Rojas goes down in a really dangerous position. This is a chance for Adelaide. Dead centre. 25 metres out or so. Prime shooting position.
Look, that's a great opportunity for Adelaide United here. Really dangerous territory to concede a free kick. I don't think there was too much in it, but as I said before, Rojas is really smart and she invites that pressure in dangerous parts of the field, and someone's going to step up for this in a really, really dangerous territory of Canberra United's defence.
Well, Fiona Wirtz wearing the number 23 of David Beckham. She fancies this, so does Emily Condon. Could be the right foot of Condon or the left foot of Wirtz.
It's fairly central, so it's not much to split the difference here.
Either way, on target, it's going to be work for Sally James. Looks like it's going to be Condon. Bends it around the wall, but straight down the throat of James. Didn't quite get the elevation or the power needed. James immediately bowls it out, looks for Satchel to use her pace, and off she goes. Chance to stretch her legs and run at the Adelaide defence. Paige Satchel. Nice touch inside as well. Looks for Heyman in the penalty area. Swivels and shoots Michelle Heyman and forces a save from Fran McLaren. Excellent break from one end to the other.
Well, how about that for a counter-attack? And Sally James made easy work of that free kick and a quick release to Paige Satchel, who was able to find Michelle centrally, and another good opportunity for Canberra United.
Adelaide's turn to get on the attack with Rojas. She defends well there. Keir wins the free kick.
Really well done there by Lauren Keir, just to hold her feet, and Rojas probably a little bit too handsy there.
Here's the chance again that we saw. Michelle Heyman took it on the thigh and hit it on the turn. Didn't quite have the power needed, but a swivel and hit. Here's Ma. Satchel's gone off, running again. Got goal side momentarily, but couldn't quite take the ball in her path. See Aidan Stencer's having a chat off screen to some of his substitutes. Thinking about a change perhaps. Here's Heyman. Ma. Might be able to hit the Canberra members. Getting behind their team.
Known to be a very vocal crowd, the Canberra United supporters.
Hodgson charged down by Satchel. McNamara, though, has all the time in the world.
I'm sure Satchel would want to have one on the board by now, but she's really made herself a nuisance this afternoon and is not making life of Adelaide United's defence that easy.
Who's your guess that's making way for Taylor-Young?
Look, I think it's going to be, at a guess, probably Nikki Flannery or Paige Satchel. They've both put in some really good leg work, and I think bringing Hayley Taylor-Young on, she's just lightning fast, and I'd hate to see her coming on at this point in the game as a defender.
Yeah, both of those players you talked about have put in a real shift this evening. It's been a good advertisement for the league. And a good crowd too. I hesitate to have a guess how many there are here, but this ground officially holds about 8,000. Ball forward from Dorber. Folletta was in the right place. Flannery asks Heyman to chase. Holmes has gone across with her, and Heyman has won the race. Flannery with the return. Gets goal side, and that's a good covering defensive tackle again from McNamara at the expense of a corner.
That's a fantastic bit of work there by Nikki Flannery as well, just to get around. And that first deft touch just to enable the cross was brilliant. McNamara again, though, standing up and sliding in to save that one for Adelaide United.
Mars' last corner caused all sorts of havoc when Fletcher won the flick on. Can she deliver another one from her bag of tricks? Again, Canberra not shy to load the 6-yard box.
Interesting tactic, that.
Nobody attacking the ball. Mars going to drop it under the post. Under the crossbar, I should say. It's unusual, isn't it? You see some players attacking the ball. Everyone's just parked themselves in the 6-yard area.
Yeah, it is an interesting tactic. It's very static there in the 6-yard box, and you can see the players split as the cross comes in, but it doesn't leave too much out around the 18-yard box or for those far post balls coming across.
Laurie Hughes is the only one on the edge of the box. Marshalled by Rojas. Everybody else in that cluster in front of the goalkeeper. Swung into the air, and the header was won by Koulazakis, and just over the crossbar.
We haven't seen a great deal just yet from Koulazakis. I think she's still got so much more to offer and come into this game.
Hayley Taylor-Young about to join the fray. Just below us. And is Paige Satchell, who's had a good debut. Showed some glimpses of what she's got. Perhaps should have gone on the scoreboard. She'll be kicking herself that she didn't.
I think so. I think she's got a great deal to offer to this Canberra United side, and we saw this evening just how much of a nuisance she proves herself to be.
I'm sure there will be other chances that fall her way and will end up in the back of the nets. It's always tough as a striker when you join a new club, isn't it? You're desperate to get off the mark as early as you can.
I think that's right. There's a bit of pressure to prove yourself. I think Paige Satchell did that this afternoon without getting off the mark, but we've been really busy, really active, and occupying some really key players of Adelaide United's defence.
Hughes. Canberra have had the better of the second half. Adelaide still look a threat, though, when they come forwards. Especially with Rojas, who looks brimful of confidence. As we mentioned in the first half, for a player that has been banging in the goal for fun in South Australia. Not surprising.
No, she's obviously in some good form.
Koulazakis. Does well. Condon's ball that was. Here's Keir. Hughes. Chance to stretch her legs and slide it through for Flannery, who's come to this near side, and once again, feel like a broken record. It's McNamara once again back there. Absolutely outstanding defending this evening from the 22-year-old centre-back.
A nice bit of play there developed by Lauren Keir. First time passing, really opening up well for Canberra United, and a good ball through. Strong body from McNamara, but she's defending fantastically tonight, and Nikki Flannery certainly felt that one for a few moments after.
Yeah, it's no nonsense as well, isn't it? It's just get on with the job, proper central defensive role. Got a bit more to do now, as once again we see the crush in the 6-yard box. Mars swings it out this time, flicked on by Keir. Hamid clear, and Nash will have to chase. Fletcher was the option, and Nash with the drop of the shoulder goes on her own and then looks to send it forwards. Fletcher, who stayed up, got in behind briefly. It's funny how a game can swing on a goal, isn't it? You can just feel that Canberra think that they can get back into this. Fletcher drops the shoulder and delivers it towards the far post. A chance here for Taylor-Young. Her first touch of the ball, and it wasn't far away.
Well, great things can happen when a centre-back takes himself up to the front of the field, and Kendall Fletcher, she's just got that experience and the ability to hold the ball up, and what a delivery there on her left foot, and Hayley Taylor-Young, wouldn't have that been an entry into the game?
So close from Hayley Taylor-Young. Adelaide's response is to send on Lara Kirkby, the 18-year-old, for her third W League appearance. Just waiting to see who's coming off. It's going to be Isabel Hodgson, scorer of the second goal. Her job is done for the day. She goes off on the far side, and Lara Kirkby comes onto the field.
That's been a really good shift for Isabel Hodgson there. She's put in some great work, and not to mention the goal, which we've already talked about, but just that tracking up and down the line. It's a really good effort from her this evening.
Marta tries to force her way through the middle of the pack. Kirkby's first involvements. Emily Hodgson, Kirkby, Hodgson. Nice little triangle, but Canberra United could see it coming. Keir sends it forwards. Heyman was the target. Holmes' clearance. Well won by Wirtz. And Webber decided to go home. Pressure, Canberra United being put on there, and Hayley Taylor-Young just a little bit too keen to make her mark. Fortunate to escape a yellow card on that occasion.
Look, I think she might be a bit lucky on that one, and as fast as Hayley Taylor-Young is, sometimes putting on the brakes can be tough, and a couple of Adelaide United players down feeling a little bit ginger after some heavy contact.
Well, I don't think she's going to escape the yellow card.
We spoke too soon, Russ. Yeah. Commentator's curse, right?
Dylan Holmes was caught there, and that's probably a yellow card. And there was a foul by Kulizakis. So who's got the card here? Was it Kulizakis who got yellow carded? I'm not sure.
Looks like it might have been Kulizakis there.
Well, she can feel a little bit unfortunate. I'm not sure which foul has been played then. I think it was Demi Kulizakis. To be fair, I was watching the replay. Well, either one or two could have gone for that one, so. Ball sent forwards. Nash. Hughes coming more into the game in the second half. Laura Hughes.
I think she's had some really valuable touches this second half, and just really important link play.
Fletcher looks for Flannery. Nikki Flannery. Lauren Keir arriving as the overlap now and gets the opportunity here. Can she deliver something into the penalty area? She can, but too near. Fryer McLaren.
Really good work right there from Lauren Keir with the overlapping run. Just not quite the delivery on her left foot there to find a Canberra United player in the centre of the box.
Huge clearance from Fryer McLaren. Kirkby's touch is a bit short, but she's got it back off of Grace Marr. Campagnale. Here's Wirtz, who struck the crossbar just after United had scored. Canberra United, I should say. Here's Condon. Searching ball, looking for Emily Hodgson.
Canberra United's midfield for me just at the moment getting a bit overrun, losing their opponents, and it means that Adelaide are able to play fairly comfortably through the middle, and with the exception of that last pass there that's gone awry, Adelaide United midfield just has a little bit too much time and space on the ball.
They've seen off the initial Canberra surge, looking to do a bit of attacking of their own. Holmes. Skipper looking to lead by example. To play the 1-2 of Kate Jakovic. So the new rules in place where the ball hits the referee and Adelaide get the ball back.
I'm glad you know the rules, Russ.
So Adelaide get to keep possession. Here's Rojas. A bit quieter in the second half, but she's still got that talent up her sleeve, of course. Dorber just sliding into the gap. Folletta was there. Adelaide's turn to put some pressure on. Wirtz. That's taking the deflection off of Nash. Probably took the pace off the ball and helped Sally James. Well, it's difficult to say how this one's going to end. Does feel like there could be some more goals in it. Here's Wirtz. Runners to the left and right. Picks out Rojas. Looking to work it onto that left foot. And in the end, the ricochet finds James.
You have to start in really confidently. Feels like Canberra United's sort of zing has been taken out of their step for this last couple of minutes, and Adelaide just settling back in. But really important if they want to get back into this game, that energy continues.
Well, Adelaide were winless on the road last season, losing all 6 matches played. And they're 7 matches without a win away from home. Their last victory on the road was against Newcastle Jets back in December 2018. At the moment, they're just 20 minutes plus stoppage time away from breaking that record. Hodgson in a foot race with Lauren Keir, and it's a good one too. Adelaide won a corner. The officials say goal kick. They never made finals, Adelaide United. 5th in 2015-16 is their best. Be good for them to break that curse this year.
And they have spoken about that being their goal for this year, is breaking into the top 4 for the W League. And from their performance so far today, it looks like that may certainly be achievable.
Well, they're solid at the back, and they've got talent going forward. And they've got a real X factor in Rojas. Canberra United, for their part, of course, 2 times W League champions, 3 times W League premiers. You'll have a couple of those medals in your cabinet, wouldn't you, Grace?
Somewhere. No, they're still there. Hold them very closely.
Emily Hodgson forced backwards. McNamara. Campagnale. Nicely done that, Adelaide, to get themselves out of a tight spot. Holmes looked to send it forward. Falls for Dorber. She might try her luck from here, Chelsea Dorber. She saw James off her line. Didn't quite have the execution to go with the idea.
Look, I don't think that's a bad decision there by Dorber either, and that's something that we've seen her do really well this game. She floats in between the midfield and defensive line of Canberra really well, and she finds herself with the ball at her feet a lot, and we've seen throughout this evening she's quite comfortable dribbling as well. Looking really threatening for Adelaide United tonight.
Heyman's touch finds Flannery. Keir, Marr wants it in midfield. Tried to find Flannery. Emily Hodgson read her thoughts, and that's a sore one for Marr. Here's Kirkby. Will she line one up here? Goes wide instead. An opportunity for Adelaide, and it's been fired over the crossbar. It was Wirtz, I think that was it? Took a deflection at the expense of a corner. Fiona Wirtz was disappointed with herself there. She thought that was on target.
Well, good opportunity for Adelaide United, and they're still looking really threatening on goal.
Only their 2nd corner of the evening. Different approach to Canberra United's. 4 targets in and around the penalty spots. Can they find the delivery is the key question. Swung in deep, and the header clear from Lauren Keir.
Really valuable little knock on there from Lauren Keir.
McNamara to pick up the pieces. Haley Taylor-Young back doing her defensive duty. Finding Hughes. Is there a break on for Canberra? Flannery in midfield, looking for an option. Marr. They've worked into this near side with Nash. Grace Marr again. Adelaide defensively recovered well there. Heyman's calling for it down the middle. That's where it's aiming. She's got the touch on as well. It'll fall for Flannery. Chanceless for Canberra United. Pulls it in towards Heyman, who went near post. Still might fall for Haley Taylor-Young. And her header. Real trouble. Heyman must score. Has scored. Equalising goal. A calamity for Adelaide. The one person you do not want to give an opportunity in the 6-yard box. Michelle Heyman at the double. 2-2.
Well, you can see what that goal means to Canberra United, and full credit to Izzy Folletta there for starting off that piece of play. She's been so solid tonight, and finding Michelle centrally, and Nikki Flannery putting in some legwork down the side there and being able to create an opportunity for Canberra United. And Michelle Heyman, she's one of those players who is really relentless, and she will pick up those scrappy goals when she needs to, but she's done really well there. Look, Freya McLaren's going to be really disappointed that she was unable to hold on to that one, and you can see her getting frustrated off screen at herself, but
it squirmed out of her grasp,
yeah.
And it just fell on a plate for Michelle Heyman, who just was not going to pass up the belated Christmas present. And Canberra United, from 2-0 down, are back to 2-2. momentum shift at Viking Park. And you can see Kendall Fletcher, I think it was, running back with the ball under her arm when that ball went in. She feels there's 3 points up for grabs here.
That's the kind of player that Kendall Fletcher is. She's just an absolute competitor, and she will not stop until the 90th plus minute. She'll just run and run all day, and she'll lead from the back there, which is really important for this younger Canberra United side.
Michelle Heyman on a hat-trick. There's only been 5 Canberra United hat-tricks in history. Or 4, I should say. Elise Torsnes got a hat-trick against Adelaide. Michelle Heyman has 2 herself, and Ash Sykes has 1 as well. Those 3 all against Perth.
Well, none of those names, I'm surprised to hear you say, have a hat-trick attached to them.
So Michelle Heyman on a treble. Meanwhile, here's Kirkby. Chance here for Mallory Webber, and it's just wide of goal. Good piece of defending.
That's a solid bit of defending there by Hayley Taylor-Young, and Sally James has done well to make herself big and close that angle down from Mallory Webber, but Mallory Webber squeezing up the field a bit now, back into the position we thought we might find her, and Adelaide United able to pinch back a corner from that one.
Well, this could go either way. We've got a barnstorming last quarter of an hour for you here on Fox Sports. 2 apiece. Adelaide's turn to get on the front foot. Condon over the set piece into the penalty. A good one as well. McNamara lost her marker for a moment. Couldn't quite stretch the legs to get the studs on the cross.
McNamara also a threatening attacking piece as well there, but defensively Canberra United have to be tight on there. She was almost had a free opportunity on goal.
She'd have to be up there with the consideration for player of the match, you'd think, Matilda McNamara.
Well, I think she's been incredibly solid today.
Just go to show the quality, though, of Heyman. We've talked about it before. She's been kept quiet for most of the afternoon and yet still come up with 2 crucial goals for Vicky Linton's Canberra United. Here's Koulazakis. Going to force her way through. Can't do so. Wirtz, who's done a fair bit of defensive work as well today. She's lost out there to Taylor-Young. And the noise levels just go up another notch or 2 as Heyman looks to get in behind. McNamara sweeps it out of play.
A couple of really physical challenges there with Hayley Taylor-Young and Demi Koulazakis up against Campagnale. Just really getting stuck in. They're the kind of challenges that you come out of and you're just exhausted for a couple of moments after, until you catch your breath back.
Kendall Fletcher. Plenty of green shirts ahead of her. Keir. Fletcher wants a return. Keir finds her. Puts the hammer down and McNamara just eases her out the way. It's no surprise that Canberra have looked a better offensive force when Kendall Fletcher seems to step up into the attack.
And she does this thing a little bit, Kendall. She gets excited and she finds herself further and further up the field, but it does create opportunities, and we saw a nice little combination there between Lauren Keir and Kendall. But again, McNamara's come to the rescue and really mature defending and just used her body really effectively.
Flannery read the goal kick, couldn't keep it in play. Condon. Hodgson forwards. Dorber takes it in nicely. Finds Condon. Looks for Wirtz down the middle. Fletcher pings it forward and a solid header again from McNamara. Michelle Heyman still full of running. Flannery, Ma, Hughes, left to right, Canberra United, Folletta, whose ball created the equaliser. Off she goes again in towards Heyman, similar kind of ball. Bounce finds its way to Flannery, it's almost deja vu. Ma. Hughes. Fletcher, patient build-up this from the home side. Fletcher just steps into the attacking third. Heyman on that left foot. Michelle Heyman, deflection off the post. McLaren Fryer was a spectator, and the woodwork which saved Canberra at one end, saves Adelaide at the other.
Well, you see what happens when Canberra United just possess the ball, switch it from one side to the other, and then those gaps open up. A lovely bit of play by Kendall Fletcher to find Michelle Heyman there, and Michelle was happy to take it on her left. Really unfortunate deflection for Adelaide United, and as you say, Russ, the woodwork just to save them.
Kulazakis, strong challenge from Campagnare. Rojas, trying to calm things down. Kirkby, Condon. Charged down Campagnale by Grace Marr. That would have been hard for McNamara, wouldn't it, if that had gone in after the shift she's put in this evening. You feel like there could be a winner at either end here. Flannery. Nash sends it back whence it came. Hughes steps away from one challenge and a second, looks for Michelle Heyman. Goes down under the challenge. Good defending again. Taylor Young, though, the pressure is all right to left on your screen at the moment. Folletta, Taylor Young, Hughes, Fletcher, Heyman, look for the return flick, didn't quite work, but she has it back. Heyman. We'll try to find Taylor Young. Anywhere will do for Adelaide at the moment. Nash stretched the leg out. Folletta. Chance for Taylor Young to send it in the penalty area. Holmes, Kulazakis charges her down as well. Canberra United have found an extra gear.
And Adelaide United just absorbing a great deal of pressure at the moment, and Canberra just pushing and pushing. And it looks like now we might see a second substitute for Canberra United with Bianca Garlich coming on for her Canberra United debut.
A W League debut as well, the Sydney University defender or midfielder. See where they put her to operate her skills.
Look, they might just need some fresh legs in the middle there. Someone like Gracie Marr just running out of steam a little bit. Bianca Garlich, a really great defensive midfielder, and another player that I'm really looking forward to seeing stepping into this Canberra United side and take her W League opportunity.
But we're hoping that 2020 would end on a high note for both these sides. This has been wonderful entertainment. It's been a good watch from start to finish. McNamara. Holmes is the option in the centre circle. Plenty of red shirts ahead of her. Dorber's one of them. Allowed to take that into her stride, but Kendall Fletcher's robbed her and a chance to bring it forward. Heyman, all on her own at the moment, against 3, now 4 Adelaide defenders. Can't get past the initial defender, who was McNamara, as usual.
Well, Michelle had quite a feat ahead of her there with 4 Adelaide United players to get past had she gotten past McNamara.
Folletta was firm in the challenge. It's fallen for Kirkby. Looks to slide it through. Not a bad idea, that. Couldn't quite get Chelsea Dorber off and running there. Beautiful evening in the nation's capital as the sun goes down. The light shining on Viking Park. Will there be a winner? Marr's header, a bit fortunate there. A tug on the shirt of Kia by Rojas on the blind side of the officials. Marr, Flannery, Marr, Heyman, solid again. Don't need to tell you who.
Well, Michelle Heyman there showing McNamara just a little bit too much of the ball, and she took every opportunity there to get a solid challenge in, as effective as she has been today.
Nash's ball forward has been picked off, but she slid in to try and get the rebounds, and they've come away with it with Folletta. Taylor Young steps away from the challenge. Flannery and acres of space to her left if she can find her. Sends her a bit wide though. Flannery looks to keep it in. Does well to do so. Flannery into the penalty area. Heyman was lurking. It came off Kirkby. And be picked up by Mallory Webber. Ghosts past the first challenge and finds Rojas. Dorber ahead of her. Webber's still continuing her run to the left. Rojas going it alone at the moment. Still Rojas looked to squeeze it through an almost non-existent gap. And here come Canberra. Kulizakis. Flannery saw that a little late. Emily Hodgson saw it first. Wirtz has peeled away. Chance for her to perhaps swing a boot at it and get it into the danger zone. Held up nicely by the Canberra defence. Campagnoli sent it in. Dorber lays it off. Kirkby wanted the shooting opportunity, but has been picked off by United, and here they come forward in waves. The runner is Hayley Taylor-Young. We talked about her pace. Heyman's the only option in the middle at the moment. Taylor-Young tries her luck, and it wasn't far away. Didn't quite have the bend required. But just a glimpse of what Hayley Taylor-Young offers as a forward threat.
Look, and she just took the angle away from herself from taking a touch out wide to the left, and then had a fair bit of work to do in terms of a shot on goal. But you can see what she's capable of there. And Canberra United players started to get a little bit fatigued and perhaps cramps through the middle. Gracie Mars stretching out her calves there, and you can just see the fatigue in the recovery runs, and things are starting to be a little bit more reactive instead of proactive, and there's certainly a bit of fatigue settling in here.
Well, we are into the last 5 minutes plus stoppage time. And United looking to make a change. Galich is coming on. Possibly for Mar. And she gets her treatment for cramp. Kate Jakovic is asking who's coming off. She's uncertain as well, and Vicky Linton's just pointed to Grace Mar. So,
well, if you didn't hear it from us, you heard it from the effects mic there. Gracie Mar will be making way.
Solid return to Canberra United action for Grace Mar in the centre of the park. Closing in on 50 W League appearances. 47 to her name after this one. And the double change. Kulizakis has come off as well. And perhaps it's Kulizakis who's made way, is it?
Well, it looks like it might be, but a really warm welcome to Bianca Galich for her W League and Canberra United debut.
Breaks for Hodgson. And Canberra down to 10 at the moment. Vicky Linton did point at Grace Mar, but a change of plan. Kulizakis has come off. Interesting, for that brief moment they were down to 10. Holmes. Can Adelaide find a winner? They look to have it sewn up at half-time. They'll never take anything for granted in the W League. Swung into the area. Fletcher clears it only as far as Campagnale, who tries her luck from range. And Sally James was a little uncertain there, and I think she claimed she didn't touch it, but
so a moment of hesitation there, and Sally James just checked her shoulder to see where the goal was and thought about it. It's hard to tell from here if there was a touch, but you can see her shaking her head there saying there was no touch, but
difficult to tell, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Perhaps the replay or referee suggests otherwise.
Well, the upshot is Adelaide have a corner and a chance for Condon to swing it into the area. 5 red shirts up in the box for this one. Swung towards McNamara. There's one with a back header. Wasn't a bad effort either from Holmes. Contorted herself to get that on target. Rojas is sprinting after this, but she won't keep it in despite her best endeavours. And we're going to see one more change from Canberra in a moment. Rachel Goldstein, who you'd know well from her time playing at Canberra FC, now of MacArthur Rams, for Nikki Flannery.
Well, that's a really great shift there by Nikki Flannery. She's absolutely put in some work, and Rachel Goldstein, a similar player in that she's got an engine and she's got a really solid left and right foot, a really promising young player who's coming into this Canberra United side. I think this is her second appearance for the team.
And Maria Rojas makes way for Mallory Mullen. Her second appearance as well, the 20-year-old off the bench for Adelaide United. As we enter the final minute of the game, is there a sting in the tail for either of these sides? Be a bit harsh for either of them to lose it from this position.
I think it would be heartbreaking for either side to lose at this point in the game, but we've seen it happen time and time again.
Campagnale. Dorber wants it through the middle. Here is Dorber. Nash stuck to her challenge. First involvement for Goldstein. Could she pick a pass forward? Finds Heyman. Hughes. Heyman away from Kirkby. 50-50 with McNamara. Hodgson took a swing. Canberra United ball. Goldstein finds Hughes. It bounces off Goldstein. Hughes thought about the shot. Still Hughes. Clips one goal. It's Hughes! She's won it for Canberra United in stoppage time! Laura Hughes with a stunner! And Canberra United from 2-0 down are 3-2 up.
Well, Laura Hughes, what a finish. You can see what that one means to her. She was in that prime spot just outside the 18-yard box. I love the fake on the first opportunity. Gives herself a little bit more time and just fools Sian Fry McLaren in that one and collapses in absolute exhaustion, absolute happiness. What a goal. What a stand-up from Laura Hughes there. You can see what that meant to the Canberra United side. An absolute heartbreak in the 45th minute for Adelaide United.
So unlucky for Sian Fry McLaren. It's hit the crossbar and struck her on the back as she's fallen down and dropped in the net. And Canberra United are 2.5 minutes away from a comeback victory. "30 times, or 31 today, in W League history, Canberra United have been 2-0 down. They've never won a match from 2-0 behind. They're looking for more. It's Taylor Young running at the Adelaide defence. Is falling for Heyman. Is this the hat-trick? Michelle Heyman! It is! It's sensational! Michelle Heyman back in green with a treble to her name. You could not write this script. Adelaide 2, Canberra 4.
Well, I tell you what, Russ, we did not see this happening at a half-time. Adelaide United 2 up and Canberra, just the pressure that they've been putting on. Hayley Taylor-Young, what an impact she's made since she's come on. And her effort down the right wing then, I thought perhaps she was going to take it for the corner and try and run down a little bit of the clock, but a bit of a scrambly, bobbly ball through there. And because of the touch of the defender, Michelle Heyman's onside there. And a really class finish. Credit to Michelle there. That's a really easy finish to mistake. But Michelle, no mistakes made there. Really class finish by Michelle, and what a hat-trick. What a bit of work by Hayley Taylor-Young.
Michelle Heyman scoring goals in green. It's like she's never been away. Her third hat-trick for Canberra United. And the points are secure for Vicky Linton on her maiden Canberra United voyage. They might not be finished yet. Here's Hayley Taylor-Young. Surely there's not more up their sleeve. You have to feel for Adelaide.
Oh, you do. They've had a fantastic showing today, and their first half was just incredibly impressive.
Dorber looks to turn. Adrian Stenser will be feeling, how has this happened to his team? The second half from Canberra has been outstanding. The strike is huge. Oh, what a goal that is! Absolutely brilliant from Mallory Webber.
Well,
and the goals are flying in at both ends.
That is some finish by Mallory Webber there, and just that, the professionalism, the experience for her not to give up. A really class finish. And Canberra United, importantly now, they've got to be aware of the clock. They've got to know what these last couple of minutes mean and how to run this time down. But Mallory, what a class finish.
Just
cuts it in on her right foot and up a 90. Nothing Sally James could have done about that one.
A standout for goal of the season. And maybe Adelaide feel that they can steal something here. The most improbable finale to this match at Viking Park. We've seen 3 goals in about 2.5 minutes.
I'll tell you what, Russ, this is very stressful up here.
It's an incredible watch. I'm glad you tuned in at home. It's Canberra United, though, who won't say they've held on. They've come from behind in what has been one of the W League games of not just this season, because we've only just started, but of all time.
Well done to Canberra United. Very, very disappointing for Adelaide. They'll be heartbroken with that. And Adrian Stenser has got a lot to go away and have a think about with that performance. you can't take away the performance today from Matilda McNamara. What a solid defensive effort, and I don't think this goal line is representative of particularly her efforts, but the team efforts from Adelaide United. I think they really showed what they're capable of and what they're going to produce this season.
The headline is on your screen. Michelle Heyman back in Canberra United green and scoring goals left, right and centre. A hat-trick from Michelle Heyman, the Matildas international. Grace, it's a return she could only dream of.
That's exactly right. You can't ask for much more from Michelle Heyman. That's what she does well. That's what she does when she's smiling. She's having a great time out there, and she proved herself tonight. She did miss a couple of early opportunities, so to come back and pull the team back into a 4-3 win over Adelaide United, what an impressive effort. What a stressful game.
7 goals, 7 of the best as well. It's been absolutely superb watching it from up here. Adelaide were 2-0 up at the break. Isabel Hodgson and Maria Rojas with the goals. It didn't look like it was going to end that way. There was always chances for both teams. Michelle Heyman at the treble. And Laura Hughes as well. Let's not forget her goal amongst all of that at the end there to have the strike. Unfortunate the way it went in off of Fryer McLaren, but in the end, a really good advert for the competition.
That's exactly right, and I think Laura Hughes turned things around with that goal, and it was late in the game, but she just kept pushing and pushing, and despite the way it went in, the effort was still there, and the pressure from Canberra United was what got that over the line and got that performance over the line for them tonight.
Mallory Webber with a stunner in stoppage time as well for Adelaide United, but not enough in the end.
That's right, and she's been really effective tonight. She's such a huge asset to the Adelaide United side, and you can't take away that goal from her. But well done to Canberra United coming back into a second half performance that they're going to be so proud of.
Thanks for your company, Grace Gill. It's been a fantastic evening's entertainment as Canberra United go across to celebrate with their supporters. As I mentioned, Hodgson and Rojas had Adelaide 2-0 up. Michelle Heyman twice got Canberra United back on terms. Laura Hughes put them 3-2 ahead. And it was Heyman who made it 4-2 before Mallory Webber completed the scoring. An epic night's entertainment at Viking Park in Canberra. We hope you've enjoyed it. The final score, as Canberra pose for the supporters, is Canberra United 4, Adelaide United 3.